Good morning.
Okay.
Yeah, Bharat, start.
First let me thank CA Vijay Keval Ramani, our Chief Coordinator of these webinars, and as a President of Tax Practices Association Thane and moderator for today's session, I welcome all of you on behalf of the consortium and also thank the consortium associations, namely Tax Plans Associations Mumbai, Tax Practitioners Association Thane, Income Tax Bar Association Prayagraj, GST Bar Association Varanasi, Association of Tax Practitioners Vellore, Bhiwandi Tax Practices Association Bhiwandi, and Baroda Tax Bar Association Vadodara. I thank you all for your continuing the pursuit of education. Special mention of our dear friend Advocate Sanjay Sharma from Delhi for his continued support in our programs. I take pleasure in welcoming CA Dr. Girish Ahuja for accepting our invitation and being with us today and to deal with such an important topic for all the tax practitioners. Welcome to all practitioners and wish you all happy learning. Friends, before I introduce our speaker, uh, one thing, all the questions can be put on chat or on YouTube questions, and the same will be taken up at the end of the session or as per the speaker's choice. Right? So now, let me introduce you to our speaker today, CA Dr. Girish Ahuja. He is a BCom graduate, MCom, and he has done his chartered accountancy in the year 1970 and was a rank holder in both intermediate and final examinations of the ICAI. He has done his PhD from Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi in the year 2009. Practicing as a chartered accountant mainly in the field of direct taxes, and he was nominated by the Government of India on the task force for redrafting the Income Tax Act and the new income tax law. The report, which has been submitted by him to the Finance Ministry on 18th August 2019. He was nominated by the Government of India as an independent director on the board of State Bank of India for 2 terms, on the board of directors of Unitech Limited, and he is also an independent director on the board of Ruchi Soya Industries Limited. Appointed as an independent director for many other limited companies also. Nominated member of the High Powered Committee constituted by the Government of India under the chairmanship of Justice A.P. Shah, Chairman Law Commission, to look into specific issues, applicability of MAT, provisions in the case of foreign companies and FIIs, any other issues relating to the applicability of direct taxes provisions, which may be referred to it by the government and CBDT from time to time. Friends, our speaker today is an author for over 25 books on direct taxations, both for students and professionals, including a concise commentary on direct taxes, compendium of, compendium of issues on income tax and wealth tax, direct tax reckoners, guide to TDS, and taxation of capital gains. He is a consultant to various tax matters on nearly all types of industries and non-profit organizations. Delivered more than 3,200 lectures on events organized by ICAI, ICSI, Chambers of Commerce, management institutes, and various organizations. We also had the pleasure of receiving Sir before. He is a patron member of Tax Law Educare Society, a non-profit making volunteer organization with the main objective to educate general public and professionals on taxation, law, and allied matters for last 10 years. A president of SRCC Alumni Association for over 20 years. So we have got such a wide and a learned speaker with us. I request CA Dr. Girish Ahuja to please take over, and we are all eager to hear you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning to all. The chief coordinator of today's program, president of today's program, Vijay, this is a consortium of association, is the president of that, Vijay Kamal Ramani, president of the tax practitioner Thane. The coordinator today is Bharat Bharat Sachdev ji, Sanjay Nikam ji, M.N. Wagla ji, Ashwini Saha ji, Apurva Saha, S.S. Satyanarayan ji, you have Atam Tekwani ji, Ramesh ji, Arvind Mishra ji, Harjeet Kumar Tiwari ji, and of course, above all, my friend and very close to me, Mr. Sanjay Sharma ji, Delhi advocate from Delhi. Ladies and gentlemen, well, friends, regarding faceless assessment and faceless appeal, let me tell you, when we were redrafting the law, the instruction came to us that you have to include the chapter on faceless assessment. That time they never said appeal, faceless assessment. We discussed amongst the members and members of the task force, and we recommended that it should be started, no doubt, but on the zonal level or a regional level, not at the national level straight away. Let us test that, and once it proves successful, we can enlarge the scope to the national level. But we were told there and then, when we were submitting this report, nothing doing. They said, PM has said that we have to do this operation once for all. We have to go for national level faceless, and that's why you cannot talk about regional level or something level. Many people are unhappy with me, and the others also, members of the task force. Sir, what have you? We had good of contact with them. We will be losing our practice. I said, absolutely nothing. They said, I remember Modi ji fired chartered accountant. I was one of their, during launching of the GST way back in 2017 on 1st of July. He said that, look here, many chartered accountants are really good, but few chartered accountants are doing something wrong. That should be avoided. And he fired us, let me tell you. You know, you say you are advising people to do such thing or this thing or anything. You are going not for planning, you are going for tax avoidance and tax evasions. We felt very bad at that particular point of time. What is this? We have invited you on launching of a program, and you are criticizing the fraternity in general. But later on, he tweeted also that I was not willing to do it, but this was only few issues which I wanted to highlight. Similar problem is being faced by these days by the department, because he said, I want to remove corruption. Now the department says that means we are dishonest, we are corrupt. You want to, that means corruption is there. Let me tell you, corruption is there, corruption is everywhere, but still I maintain it. The income tax department, as compared to the other department, is the most honest department. As compared to, please don't take it that way. Compared to the other department, it is still honest department. But they felt demotivated. What is this? They told me also, what is this? What will be our role? What is the point? Then let them do anything. But let me tell you, forget about all these things. This has come, and this is not going to go. Number one, you wait and watch. There will be a faceless in the whole income tax act. I will talk you gradually what kind of a faceless thing are going to be there, which they have introduced recently. I will tell you that on 29th of September, when the taxation and other provisions, relaxation and amendment act came in 2020, what have they done? I'll explain everything to you, but in the meantime, let me tell you to everyone, it is good that faceless has come. And let me tell you, please, you have to tell your client to be careful now. The clients cannot now there is no compromise. Why I'm saying, they have made 360-degree profile of every person. Complete 360-degree profile is there. You give me your PAN number. Mr. Sanjay Sharma was there, but he's just moved. You give me your PAN number. I can give you the whole Janm Kundali of yours. I'll get you the entire information from your PAN number, because Financial Intelligence Unit has got tons of information. Financial Intelligence Unit of the department. And they have made 360-degree profile. I saw my profile also. Each and every detail was there in that profile. My foreign visit, they had the details of the foreign visit, my assets, my shares, how many share, which company share I have, my mutual fund, my bank balances, my FDR, those FDR where the amount paid to me is without TDS also. The detail is there. Even today, if you download your 26AS, let me tell you, sir, if you download your 26AS, Bharat Bhai, what is there in it? They have given complete detail of the dividend received by you, whether it is 50 rupees, 100 rupees, or 200 rupees, or whether it is after TDS. Complete detail of the dividend is coming in your 26As. Similarly, the detail will come how much donation you have given. You wait and watch. In few years' time, even the capital gain on the share will be automatically calculated, and it will be, information will be provided to you in your return. What to talk about? You wait and watch. The day will come when they say, this is your return of income, kindly sign it. We have already filled up. The day is going to come, let me tell you. The intelligence unit has complete information about you. What have you been doing? What have you been buying from Flipkart, from Amazon against cash? They have that detail also. Let me tell you, everything is available with them. They were not able to use that information, and you could save it, and then you had face value. You had face value. Now there is no face value. It will be faceless now. You had a face value. You could go to the department when you sit with the officer. You had a face value. Even in the appeal cases, you had a lot of face value, and things were going on. But let me tell you, it is going to be faceless. So value is gone. And you may be filing return of income. Let's say in Mumbai, your case may be assessed by the assessment unit, maybe in Chennai, and the verification unit may be sitting in Delhi. The technical unit may be sitting in Kolkata. So they are going to have the entire overall system. Let me come to that. Again, I'm saying, people did not notice in 2014, Finance Act 2014, inserted 3 sections. Nobody bothered to read those sections. One section was section 143, capital 3A. Another section was section 143, capital 3B. And third section was 143, capital 3C. At that point in time, nobody noticed what kind of sections were there. Nobody bothered. Even I did not bother. I said, nothing is going to come. Let them bring out this section. Nothing is going to happen. What was that section? And due to that section, what has happened? Sir, there was a section 143.3a. Mr. Satyanarayan, let me tell you what kind of a section was there. The section read as under. The central government may make a scheme by notification for assessment of total income or a loss of under section 143 or section 144, so as to have greater efficiency, greater transparency, greater accountability, so as to avoid what? So as to eliminate interface between the assessing officer and the assessee to the extent technologically possible. The first thing they said, that we are going to have a scheme. We can have a scheme by notification. By notification. What for? For assessment of your total income or a loss, so as to impart greater efficiency, greater transparency, greater accountability, so as to eliminate, number one, Mr. Satyanarayan, interface between the assessing officer and the assessee in the course of assessment proceeding to the extent technologically possible. And they have done it now. Second, optimal utilization of resources through economics of scale and functional specialization. Kindly note, functional specialization. Why? How have they done functional specialization? There will be assessment unit, there will be technical unit, there will be verification unit, there will be review unit. So this is functional specialization, optimization of resources through economic of scale and functional specialization. And third power, to have introduced team-based assessment with dynamic jurisdiction. Please, what I said, team-based assessment units with dynamic jurisdiction. This was the purpose for which they introduced this section 143.3a. In 143.3b, they said that due to the introduction of this scheme, there will be certain sections which will be subject to certain amendments, certain adoption, certain changes. And that will also be brought with the notification. That was done under 143.3b. And under 143.3c, they said that both the notification shall be placed before the House of Parliament, before the Houses of Parliament. That was section 143.3a, b, c, which was introduced way back 1st April 2018. Nobody bothered to see that. Even I didn't bother. But a notification was brought in, notification number 61, dated 12th of September 2019. Please note, 12th September 2019, notification 61, introducing a scheme of e-assessment. Introducing a scheme of e-assessment. I will tell you that. And they also brought notification 62, saying that certain sections of the income tax shall be subject to such modification or adoption because of the introduction of e-assessment scheme. So that was brought. And let me tell you, sir, Sanjay Sharma ji, they introduced 58,322 notices for e-assessment proceeding by this notification, which was brought 61. 58,322 cases were selected. Some of them were limited scrutiny, some of them are comprehensive scrutiny, and you have received order also, faceless scheme. That was introduced, but later on they thought there are many mistakes, there are many deficiencies in this notification. So what they have done, they have brought another notification, Bharat Bhai, notification 60, dated 13th of August 20. Notification 60, dated 13th of August 20, by amending the existing notification 61, dated 12th of September 2019. Now, people are reading this notification separately. No, sir. Basic notification is 60. Amended notification is 60. Basic is 61. Amended is 60. Please merge them and then read it. Then read it. People are reading separately. 61 separately, 60 separately. No. 60 has amended the basic notification 61 by 2019, which was introduced, which was notified way back on 12th of September 2019, amended by notification 60, dated 13th of August 2020. Now, I'm coming to that notification. Sir, earlier the name of the scheme was e-assessment proceedings or e-assessment scheme. Now, in this notification, what have they done? This scheme may be called faceless assessment scheme. The name is changed. Faceless assessment scheme. Earlier was e-assessment. Now it is faceless assessment scheme. Let me tell you, sir, very important. I'm telling everybody who is the listener, who are in the audience. Let me tell everyone, this notification 61 amended by 60 is valid only up to 31st March 21. Sir, only up to 31st March 21. Because after 31st March 21, section 144, capital B has been inserted in the Income Tax Act through Taxation and Other Laws, Relaxation and Amendment Provisions Act 2020, notified, passed by the, given the assent by the President of India on 29th of September 2020. Are you understanding my point? I'm not speaking in Hindi because somebody told me the people from Vellore are also there. Otherwise, I would have enjoyed talking to you in Hindi and English both, because at times you enjoy in your mother tongue also, and you have to tell your stories. The story can be told only in your mother tongue, otherwise you don't enjoy at all.
सर थोड़ा
But
हिंदी
what
भी
I'm
चलेगा
trying to explain.
सर, थोड़ा हिंदी भी चलेगा।
चलेगा तो ठीक है। सत्यनारायण जी मेरी तरफ देख रहे थे, so I was worried कि भाई हिंदी चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा। Okay, he said okay, go ahead. Okay sir, okay. So मैं क्या बता रहा हूं, ये this notification is valid up to 31st March 21 because they have introduced section 144B with effect from 1st April 21, and that scheme has been inserted in that section 144B. So the validity of the notification is only up to 31st March 21. Earlier it was not mentioned that, but due to this, Parliament has passed that Taxation and Other Law, Relaxation and Amendment Provision 2020, which has been given consent by the President of India from 29th of September 20, saying that 144B had been inserted. 144B, मैं अभी और भी बताऊंगा, पहले ये समझ लीजिए। Everything is there. अब सुनिए, in the notification it is written, the central government will constitute National E-Assessment Center, which has been constituted, National E-Assessment Center with centralized control and dynamic jurisdiction, nationwide jurisdiction, centralized control. They will establish, what is the name, sir? National E-Assessment Center. But wait, in the new section 144B, they have changed the name of National E-Assessment Center to National Faceless Assessment Center. The same center which has been introduced through notification, which has been established in Delhi in the Civic Center, stating the name of the center is National E-Assessment Center with centralized charge and dynamic jurisdiction, will be known as National Faceless Assessment Center from 1st April 21 when 144B becomes applicable. So Satyanarayan ji, are you following my point? This same National E-Assessment Center will be known as National Faceless Assessment Center, which has been constituted. Then the second power which they have assumed is through notification that the central government may constitute as many regional E-Assessment Center as it deemed necessary. Under the control of Principal Chief Commissioner Cadre Control System, they will have regional E-Assessment Center. They have already constituted regional E-Assessment Centers. But this REAC will be known as Regional Faceless Assessment Center with effect from 1st of April 21. संजय जी समझ में आया? 1st April 21 का नाम बदलकर Regional Faceless Assessment Center हो जाएगा. Today its name is Regional E-Assessment Center. Now, the next power. Central government may constitute so many assessment units as it deemed necessary to perform the function of assessment. What is assessment unit? What is the role of the assessment unit? To perform the function of assessment, which includes, now what is the function which includes? Bharatji, identification of certain issues or certain points which are material for the determination of your liability or the refund. what has happened. For determination of your liability or your refund, they will do this. What they will do? They will identify certain issues, certain points which are relevant for determination or material to the determination of your law income or your refund. And second, to seek clarification or information from whom? From the assessee or any other person who is in the knowledge of such points or such issue. And third function, they will analyze these information or clarification which you have asked for, and then they will make the assessment. This is the basic function of assessment unit. Then the next is the central government may constitute so many what to call verification unit as it deemed necessary to perform the function of verification. So what is the role of verification unit? To perform the function of verification, which will also include making an inquiry, cross verification, examination of books and accounts, with recording of the witness. So this function is not with Bharat ji. ये function assessment unit के पास नहीं है. ये function separate दे दिया क्या किसको? Verification unit. If assessment unit wants some inquiry, they will write to National E-Assessment Center that we want inquiry. And they will refer this to the verification unit to do inquiry, to do cross verification, to examine books of accounts, to record witness, to take statement. This all will be the function of verification unit and not of the assessment unit. The next point, to constitute so many technical units as it deemed necessary. They have constituted about 30 odd verification unit. So far, they have constituted 4 technical units. To constitute so many technical unit to give technical advice to the assessment unit, which will also include, what will it include? Giving legal advice, sir, accounting advice, forensic, for valuation, for transfer pricing, or for special audit. That function has been assigned to whom? To technical unit. If an assessment unit want anything to be done, like they want any legal advice for a particular thing, what are the cases which has been decided by High Court or Supreme Court in this particular issue? What are the accounting standard? What is the, you want to go for data analytic? Please provide us the data analytic. You want some valuation to be done. You have to write to the technical to do the valuation. You want some audit to be done. They will do it. You want arm's length price to be determined. This is not the role of assessment unit. Assessment unit will write to whom? To the National E-Assessment Center that we want the valuation to be done. We want arm's length price to be determined. We want the information technical advice on this issue. And they will refer it to technical unit. And then to constitute as many review unit as it deemed necessary. You know, the order is passed by the assessment unit. They will have to pass in a draft order. And if the National E-Assessment Center feels that this should be reviewed, they will send this to the review unit. They will send this to the review unit to review the order. And once the review unit make the suggestions, then please note, Bharat Bhai, it will not go to the same assessment unit. It will go to some other assessment unit to do the assessment. क्या सिस्टम बना रहे हैं, क्या इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम बनेगा? आइए अब मैं स्कीम शुरू कर रहा हूं. मैंने क्या बोला? Constituted, what has been constituted? One National E-Assessment Center, which ultimately will be known as National Faceless Assessment Center. What has been constituted? So many regional E-Assessment units. Assessment Center will ultimately known as Regional Faceless Assessment Center. They have constituted around 100 assessment unit all over India. They have constituted review unit. They have constituted a verification unit. They have constituted the technical unit. Now let me start the scheme. The faceless assessment scheme says this scheme may be called faceless assessment scheme. Name is over. Now let us come. फर्स्ट थिंग भरत भाई, वो 143(1) वैसे ही होगा. वो जो आपका इंटीमेशन आता है, यू फाइल योर रिटर्न, सीपीसी passes the issues the intimation after making inquiry from you or after making adjustment in your return, that 143(1) notification already is faceless. संजय जी, वो तो फेसलेस ऑलरेडी है ही है. आपने रिटर्न भरी तो वो तो ऑटोमेटिकली वन इंटीमेशन आता है, दैट इज ऑलरेडी फेसलेस. 143(1) वो फेसलेस जब आ जाएगा, उसके हम कुछ नहीं करेंगे, वो तो वही है फेसलेस. अब सम केसेस विल बी सेलेक्टेड फ्रॉम स्क्रूटनी, जैसे आजकल होता है विजय भाई, वो भी होगा रमानी जी कि फेस कुछ केसेस पिक्ड अप हो जाएंगे पर स्क्रूटनी, और जो भी पिकअप होंगे विद द गाइडलाइंस, दैट विल बी हैंडेड ओवर टू नेशनल ई असेसमेंट सेंटर. नाउ द रोल ऑफ द नेशनल ई असेसमेंट सेंटर स्टार्ट्स. When they have got this intimation, they will issue notice to the assessee, giving the specific points on the basis of which your case has been selected for scrutiny. So notice will be sent to whom? To the assessee. How will you send the notice? Electronically, digitally. No question of physical or anything. Electronically, digitally. 3 ways of sending a notice. 1, it can be sent on your registered mail with the department. Whatever mail you have registered, Mr. Remani, you are now supposed to register your email address. So email on the registered email. 2, that can be loaded, that can be posted on the portal where you are registered with the income tax department. All of you assessees are registered with the income tax department, and you go to that portal, see that intimation, the letter will be, a notice will be given to you. Or they are developing a mobile app and SMS will come to you that your case has been selected for scrutiny. They may use either of this or this or this, or they may use more than one of this mode. But all electronically, all communication electronically, either through email or through your registered, posted on the registered portal, or Remani ji on SMS. आपके पास आ गया. Within 15 days, you will have to send a reply to that notice that you have received a notice which you have been told that it has been selected for scrutiny. Remani ji, no extension here. The response has to be filed by you within 15 days. If you don't give any response, then they will issue a show cause notice why your case be not selected under 144 instead of 143(3), 144. So 15 days you have to give the response. Now they have received the response. Now the again role of the National E-Assessment Center. If you have filed a return under 139, obviously you file a return belated or whatever, you have filed a return and you have been issued a notice under 142(1), you have filed a return, they will issue a notice that your case has been selected for faceless assessment scheme. They will reply you that your case has been selected for now faceless assessment scheme. Suppose you did not file a return, you are issued a notice under 142(1) to file a return, and in response to that, you have filed a return in response to notice under 142(1). There also, you will get a letter that after you have responded, that your case has been selected for faceless assessment. Still today, the income escaping assessment 147 and 148 is with the jurisdictional officer, assessing officer till today. So jurisdictional officer will issue notice for 148 to you for income escaping assessment. Then you will have to file a return in response to a notice. After you have filed a return, then you may file objection why your case has been selected. The objections are disposed of by the AO, and then after they will refer this case to the National E-Assessment Center, and then in this case also they will tell you that your case has been selected for faceless assessment for reassessment under 147. Correct, sir? Now the case has been selected. Now the National E-Assessment Center, through automated allocation system, भरत भाई, automated allocation system, computerized everything. Upload this case to any of the assessment unit in India because it is jurisdictional less. You filed a return, Sir Bharat Bhai, let's say in Thane or in Mumbai, whatever is it. The assessment unit may be sitting at Chennai, may be sitting at Kolkata, or may be sitting at Jumri Talaiya. अभी तक जुमरी तलैया में आया नहीं असेसमेंट यूनिट, आ जाएगा. अभी तक जुमरी तलैया में नहीं आया क्योंकि लोग जुमरी तलैया बहुत यूज करते हैं. हमने तो ये नाम सुना था बहुत पुराना, जब वो बिनाका गीतमाला आती थी तो वहां से आता था जुमरी तलैया से इसने ये वो किया है. तो जुमरी तलैया मुझे पता नहीं था इंडिया में है, तो वो जुमरी तलैया में भी कल असेसमेंट यूनिट हो सकता है. तो उस असेसमेंट यूनिट को भेज सकते हैं. आपको नहीं पता किसको भेजा है. उन्होंने एक्सेप्ट करना है by writing to NEAC that they have received this case for assessment and we are accepted this. Assessment unit have received it. Now an assessment you will look into that case. Now sir Vijay ji, assessment unit may be needing some information, may be requiring some evidence, may be requiring some books of certain documents. Now, if they want some information, if they want some clarification, if they want certain evidence, if they want certain documents, they will write electronically, communication all electronically to National E-Assessment Unit that for this particular case, we want certain information, we want certain evidences, we want certain supporting document, kindly provide that to us. They can't write to the SSC. They can't write to the SSC. Everything is given to somebody has gone under the desktop is coming up. Please remove this. So what I'm saying, they are not doing to the SSC. They are written to the National E-Assessment Center electronically. Kindly provide this information to us. Kindly provide this evidence to us. This is asked from SSC or any other person who possesses that information. The National E-Assessment Center will forward that request to the SSC or any other person for providing that information, providing that evidence, providing that documents. This is one job. Second, now they will respond, SSC will respond and submit electronically whatever evidences, whatever document, whatever information. रेमानी जी, अब जो केस है ना, ये दिमाग का हो गया. अब आपकी नॉलेज होगी, वो कॉन्टेक्ट खत्म. जो पहले फेस वैल्यू थी वो फेसलेस हो गई है. पहले तो आपकी वैल्यू थी, कनेक्शन थे. कभी क्लाइंट आपके पास आता था विजय जी, तो आप क्या कहते थे, मैं हूं ना, आप चिंता मत करिए, 143(2) आया, जाइए जाइए, मैं हूं ना, मैं करा दूंगा. अब भूल जाइए, अब कहना मैं कुछ नहीं हूं, मेरा दिमाग है ना, मैं उससे काम करूंगा. अब दिमाग से काम करना है. पढ़ाई लिखाई का काम हो गया, जान पहचान का काम खत्म. जो नॉलेज करेगा, जो अच्छा रिप्लाई करेगा, अच्छे पेपर बनाएगा, अच्छा रिस्पॉन्ड करेगा, अच्छी ड्राफ्टिंग करेगा, अब उसी का काम है. जिसको पहले सब्जेक्ट ही नहीं आता होगा तो ड्राफ्टिंग क्या करेगा. सिर्फ अंग्रेजी थोड़ी चलेगी, अंग्रेजी के साथ साथ नॉलेज चाहिए एक्ट की. और आपको पता है रेमानी जी, इनकम टैक्स एक्ट कितना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है. एक सेक्शन में क्या क्या आता है, कई बार बोल चुका हूं, फिर भी कई लोग नए हैं, उनको बता दूं. सेक्शन के नीचे सब सेक्शन तब भी कंप्लीट नहीं होता. सब सेक्शन के नीचे क्लॉजेस तब भी कंप्लीट नहीं होता. क्लॉज के नीचे सब क्लॉजेस तब भी कंप्लीट नहीं होता. सब क्लॉज के नीचे क्या आता है, संजय जी ने कई लेक्चर सुने और आपने भी सुना होगा. सब क्लॉजेस के नीचे आइटम्स आती हैं और आइटम के नीचे सब आइटम आती है, फिर भी कंप्लीट नहीं होता. उसके बाद आता है प्रोवाइडेड दैट. फर्स्ट प्रोवाइजर को बोलते हैं प्रोवाइडेड दैट. सेकंड प्रोवाइजर को बोलते हैं प्रोवाइडेड फर्दर दैट. थर्ड प्रोवाइजर को बोलते हैं प्रोवाइडेड ऑल्सो दैट. फोर्थ प्रोवाइजर को बोलते हैं प्रोवाइडेड ऑल्सो दैट. फिफ्थ प्रोवाइजर को बोलते हैं प्रोवाइडेड ऑल्सो दैट. जब आप वोट ऑफ थैंक करेंगे आपके यहां से, तो पहले क्या बोलेंगे? आई थैंक गिरीश आहूजा, आई थैंक दिस, फिर आप शुरू कर देते हैं आई ऑल्सो थैंक, आई ऑल्सो थैंक, आई ऑल्सो थैंक, आई ऑल्सो थैंक। इनकम टैक्स में भी यही है, प्रोवाइडेड ऑल्सो, पहले प्रोवाइडेड दैट, फिर प्रोवाइडेड फर्दर दैट, उसके बाद प्रोवाइडेड ऑल्सो दैट, प्रोवाइडेड ऑल्सो दैट। सर विजय जी 20 प्रोवाइजो हैं सेक्शन 10 क्लॉज 23C में, 20 प्रोवाइजो, और फिर भी सेक्शन कंप्लीट नहीं होता। उसके नीचे आता है एक्सप्लेनेशन नंबर 1, explanation number 2, you are looking for a full stop, the comma is after 6 line। बताइए ये इनकम टैक्स एक्ट है, पढ़ता कौन है? अब तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा, अब तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा, चाहे कुछ कर लो। अब आपका कनेक्शन काम नहीं आएगा, इनकम टैक्स एक्ट काम आएगा, और केसेस काम आएंगे, वो भी पढ़ने पड़ेंगे। अब तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा सर। तो संजय जी को मैंने एक दिन कहा, संजय जी शुरू कर दो, ज्यादा तो टैक्स की प्रैक्टिस ये इंटरनेट टैक्स की करते हैं, मैंने कभी इनकम टैक्स को भी पढ़ लिया करो। कहते सर आप कहते हैं तो पढ़ लेता हूं। मैंने कहा रोज एक सेक्शन पढ़ लिया करो। सर विजय जी, संजय जी का 4 घंटे के बाद टेलीफोन आ गया। क्या हुआ सर? ये क्या कह दिया आपने? मैं क्या हुआ? कहते एक सेक्शन पढ़ा सर, 4 घंटे लग गए। मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, 4 घंटे लगे, एक सेक्शन तो पढ़ लिया। कहते इंतजार कीजिए। मैं क्या हुआ? कहता लास्ट में लिखा था इट इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल फ्रॉम असेसमेंट ईयर 2010-11। अब बताइए क्या करे? कहते मेरा 4 घंटे बर्बाद कर दिए सब आपने। मैंने कहा मेरे से पूछा था संजय जी कैसे पढ़ना है? जब भी इनकम टैक्स एक्ट पढ़ो पहले लास्ट लाइन पढ़ लो, लास्ट लाइन, कि वो एप्लीकेबल तो खत्म तो नहीं हो गया। हमें तो ये भी नहीं पता वो सेक्शन है कि वो खत्म हो चुका है। मैं बिलीव करिए नहीं पता है। आप, मुझे नहीं पता कई सेक्शनों के बारे में कि कब खत्म हुए। अरे हम तो बाद में देखते हैं, और ये तो खत्म हो चुका है, ये तो 10 में खत्म हो गया था, ये 14 में खत्म हो गया था, ये 16 में खत्म हो गया था, ये 18 में खत्म हो गया था, लेकिन एक्ट में तो है, एक्ट में तो है, हमें तो पता भी नहीं है। तो सही संजय जी याद रखिए मेरी एडवाइस, अब लास्ट में पढ़ लिया करो कि वो सेक्शन खत्म तो नहीं हुआ है। अगर खत्म नहीं है तो पढ़ लेना, अब पढ़ना पड़ेगा, उसके बगैर गुजारा नहीं है। अरे मैडम प्रेमलता बंसल जी अभी भी पढ़ती हैं, और पढ़ना, मुझे उम्र का कोई नहीं होता, एज इज जस्ट ए नंबर। संजय जी एज इज जस्ट ए नंबर। पढ़ाने के लिए मैं भी तो पढ़ रहा हूँ, एट द एज ऑफ 75 होने वाला हूँ मैं, 74 प्लस 6 मंथ्स हो गया मैं। तो मैं अगर इस वक्त पढ़ता हूं तो सबको पढ़ना पड़ेगा सर। एज इज जस्ट ए नंबर। मैं आपको बता दूं, मुझे कोई कहता है ना कि आप बड़े सीनियर या वेटरन है, तो मुझे गुस्सा आता है। मैं व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय वेटरन? आई एम वेरी यंग एंड यू शुड रिमेन यंग। रंग होना चाहिए, ये वेटरन कोई चीज नहीं है। और पढ़ाई के लिए कोई एज नहीं होती, जो भी लर्निंग करनी है हर एज में लर्निंग हो सकती है। आई एम टेलिंग यू, मिस्टर सत्यनारायण जी इज नॉट इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी, he is gone, or he says I am not following Hindi, I don't know. He's not there. What I'm trying to explain is that there is no age, and you will have to restart. If you have not been studying, you will have to restart, sir. It is faceless. So you have to submit your reply. Now, the assessment unit want some type of verification to be done. They want some examination of accounts. They want some inquiry to be done. They want some cross verification. They want some a statement to be recorded. They will give this request to National E-Assessment Center that we want certain inquiry to be done. We want certain cross verification to be done. We want certain examination of books of account to be done. We want some statement to be recorded. Kindly do this. The National E-Assessment Center will forward that request to verification unit. The request will be to the verification unit, and verification unit will write to the National Reassessment Center to write to the assessee to provide that information to them, or to go for inquiry and all that thing. Now, verification unit, after doing verification, will prepare a report, and electronically that report will be sent to National E-Assessment Center. A national e-assessment center may send back that report to the assessment unit. So assessment unit may be in Chennai, the verification unit may be in Delhi. So even the assessment unit does not know where is the verification unit. They have replied to the National E-Assessment Center. They have no knowledge. The report will be prepared by the verification unit, will be sent to the National E-Assessment Center. The National E-Assessment Center shall forward that to the assessment unit. Similarly, if they want some technical advice, the assessment unit, they will write to the National E-Assessment Center, sir, we want legal advice on this matter. What are the legal cases on this issue? We want some knowledge about accounting standard. We want some advice about, we want some forensic audit to be done. We want some special audit to be done. We want some data analytic. We want so many things where that will be provided. Or we want a determination of all and price. We want valuation to be done. That will be returned to the National E-Assessment Center. National E-Assessment Center will forward that to technical unit, and technical unit, after doing all exercise, will prepare a report and send it to National E-Assessment Center. The National E-Assessment Center will forward the report to the assessment unit. तो विजय जी, मुझे किसी ने पूछा, सर कोई तो तरीका होगा उनको कांटेक्ट करने का। सर कोई तो निकलेगा। कहता है ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता कि हम उनको कांटेक्ट नहीं कर सकेंगे। मैं कह कोई तरीका नहीं है। कहता सर असेसमेंट यूनिट को तो पता है ना कि कौन सा केस कहां का है, वो हमें कांटेक्ट कर लेगा। मैंने कहा भैया वो कांटेक्ट नहीं कर सकता। कहता कर लेगा सर। मैं कहा एक वर्ड है HNS, हम नहीं सुधरेंगे। सुधर जाओ। वो कांटेक्ट करके करेगा भी क्या? वो सिर्फ असेसमेंट कर रहा है, टेक्निकल एडवाइस उसके पास नहीं है। टेक्निकल कहीं और से आ रही है, उसको वेरिफिकेशन कोई और कर रहा है, वो थोड़ी कर रहा है। वो तो असेसमेंट कर रहा है, लेकिन वेरिफिकेशन किसने किया? किसी और ने किया है। टेक्निकल यूनिट कौन है? कोई और है। और फिर उसको पता है मैं ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर बनाऊंगा एंड दैट ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर कैन गो फॉर रिव्यू, और वो रिव्यू यूनिट में भी जा सकता है। तो क्या करोगे कांटेक्ट करके, और क्या करेगा वो आपका कांटेक्ट लेकर? कोई फायदा नहीं है। मैं आपको बता दूं, वक्त बदल गया है, इंफॉर्मेशन उनके पास है। बेटर यही है कि सुधर जाओ, नहीं तो मोदी जी सुधार देंगे आपको। मोदी जी चाहे हार जाए बिहार, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, लेकिन ये मत सोचना कि मोदी जी वापस नहीं आएंगे। आएंगे तो वही 2022 में। तो इसलिए जाएगा नहीं। आप जो मर्जी कह लीजिए, ये जाएगा नहीं। और ये और आ रहा है। अब आप सुन लीजिए मैं आपको क्या बोल रहा हूं। सर मेरा ध्यान से सुनिए। मैंने तो एक 144B बोला था, लेकिन अब सुनिए, जो 142 की इंक्वायरी होती है या नोटिस आता है या ऑडिट होता है, वो अभी भी फेसलेस नहीं था। अब एक सेक्शन डाल दिया 142B, दैट इज फेसलेस इंक्वायरी, फेसलेस वैल्यूएशन। जो कलेक्शन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन थी वो भी आप फिजिकली अपना अपलोड करते थे, वहां पर भी डाल दिया है 135A, फेसलेस कलेक्शन ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन। सर जो वो है रीअसेसमेंट 147, 148, अभी तक तो फेसलेस नहीं है, लेकिन डाल दिया सेक्शन 151A, फेसलेस reassessment of certain income escaping assessment, faceless reassessment of income exception 115A सेक्शन डाला है। अभी तक रेक्टिफिकेशन 154 या अमेंडमेंट 155 फेसलेस नहीं है, लेकिन डाल दिया सेक्शन 157A, फेसलेस रेक्टिफिकेशन, फेसलेस अमेंडमेंट, फेसलेस नोटिस, फेसलेस इंटीमेशन ऑफ लॉस, वो भी फेसलेस कर दिया है। अभी तक रिवीजन 263 और 264 फेसलेस नहीं है। सर आ गया 264A सेक्शन, फेसलेस रिवीजन ऑफ ऑर्डर। अरे सारे सेक्शन डाल दिए। इनकम टैक्स एक्ट तो पढ़ो, नक्शा ही बदल दिया है। सर 133(1)A डाला, 135A डाला, 142B डाला, 144B डाला, 151A डाला, 157B डाला, 264A डाला। अरे सर पेनल्टी भी फेसलेस कर दी गई है। कुछ बचेगा ही नहीं। अब आगे से इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट जाना ही नहीं है, शक्ल ही नहीं देखनी है। ना उनको आपकी शक्ल पसंद है, ना हमें उनकी शक्ल पसंद है, जाना ही नहीं है सर। अरे रेमानी जी, कभी कभी इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट जाते थे तो बीच में लंच का टाइम हो जाता था या चाय का टाइम हो जाता था, तो कैंटीन से समोसा खा लिया करते थे, वो एक कप चाय पी लिया करते थे। वो भी गई हमारी, समोसा और चाय। आराम से समोसा वहां खा लिया करते थे छुपा कर, किसी को बताते नहीं थे, समोसा खा लिया करते थे। यार दिल तो करता ही है ना कोई ऐसी चीजें खाने के लिए, ब्रेड पकौड़ा, समोसा या वह पकौड़े वहां पर जो मिलते थे। आपके यहाँ तो उसको भाजी कहते, जो मिलते थे। लेकिन अब कहाँ से मिलेंगे, बीबी बना के नहीं देती, कहती छुप जाओ, बोलो मत, तुम्हारे को कोई फालतू चीज नहीं देनी है, तुम्हारा ब्लड प्रेशर हाई है, तुम्हें डायबिटीज है, तुम्हें ये है। लेकिन वहां तो चुप के खा लेते थे ना सर, वो भी गया। अब ऑफिस में ही बैठकर बातें करना, माला जपो और काम करो, कोई क्रूद नहीं है, कोई डिपार्टमेंट में नहीं जाना। गाड़ी का पेट्रोल का खर्चा बच गया आपका, मिलना ही नहीं किसी को, आप जानते ही नहीं है किसी को। ये तो पूरा क्वारंटाइन हो गया है ऑफिस में, परमानेंट क्वारंटाइन कर दिया आपको सर, परमानेंट क्वारंटाइन है। यू डोंट हैव टू मूव आउट ऑफ योर ऑफिस ग्रेजुअली, नो व्हाट यू कॉल रीअसेसमेंट, नो रिवीजन, नो अपील, अपील भी हो गया, कुछ भी नहीं है, सब फेसलेस हो जाएगा, बस खत्म, फेसलेस और ईज। अब तो नोटिफिकेशन, सीधी बातें करें, इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली बातें करें, अपनी अंग्रेजी भी सुधार ले जरा सर। रेन एंड मार्टिन की हमारे जमाने में ग्रामर की किताब आती थी, उसको जरा दोबारा पढ़ ले, रेन एंड मार्टिन होती थी, बड़ी अच्छी वो ग्रामर की किताब थी, अभी भी चलती है, जिसमें हमें पास्ट टेंस, फ्यूचर टेंस, पास्ट और प्रेजेंट टेंस सिखाए जाते थे। द कैट कैचेस द कैट, द कैच हैज कॉट द कैट, और कैच विल कैच द कैट, वो जो होते थे वो सिखाए जाते थे, और आपको एक्टिव पैसिव भी सुनाए जाते थे। अब ये सारी अंग्रेजी काम आएगी, हालांकि अल्टीमेटली वर्नाकुलर भी हो जाएगा, बट ये अंग्रेजी काम आएगी लिखने में। तो अंग्रेजी ठीक कर लीजिए, सुधार लीजिए, अब तो सुधारना पड़ेगा। यू विल हैव टू इंप्रूव योर इंग्लिश। सो हर ऑफिस में रेन एंड मार्टिन रख लीजिए। ग्रामर में सब वीक हैं, ग्रामर बोलने में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, बोलने में आप जो भी अंग्रेजी बोल दो कोई माइंड नहीं करता है। स्पोकन लैंग्वेज इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम रिटन लैंग्वेज। रिटन लैंग्वेज में तो आपको अपना अच्छी तरह ड्राफ्टिंग करनी है, और लैंग्वेज भी करेक्ट होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि मैंने कई बार देखा 90% लोग बोल जाते हैं आई थैंक्स, आई थैंक्स। अरे आई में थैंक्स नहीं होता भैया, थैंक होता है। लेकिन 90% लोग करते हैं आई थैंक्स, आई थैंक्स, आई थैंक्स। तो लेकिन वो अंग्रेजी स्पोकन है, रिटन में नहीं होगा। आई थैंक दिस लर्नेड एओ। अब तो लर्नेड एओ के बारे में लिख भी नहीं सकते आप, कौन सा लर्नेड एओ है, अब तो लर्नेड असेसमेंट यूनिट है, टीम बेस्ड असेसमेंट है, तो क्या लिखोगे। तो लीजिए सर, असेसमेंट यूनिट के पास इंफॉर्मेशन आ गई, डॉक्यूमेंट्स आ गए, एविडेंस आ गए। असेसमेंट यूनिट हैज गॉट द वेरिफिकेशन डन, वो रिपोर्ट आ गई। असेसमेंट यूनिट हैव गॉट सम टेक्निकल कंसल्टेंसी, सम वैल्यूएशन डन, वो भी रिपोर्ट आ गई। अब असेसमेंट यूनिट विल पास एन ऑर्डर विच विल बी कॉल्ड ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर। ये फाइनल ऑर्डर नहीं है सर, ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर, और उसके साथ पेनल्टी प्रोसीडिंग भी इनिशिएट करेगा उस ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर में, और वो ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर और पेनल्टी प्रोसीडिंग इनिशिएट करके दैट विल बी इंटीमेटेड टू नेशनल ई असेसमेंट सेंटर इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली। नेशनल ई असेसमेंट सेंटर के पास वो ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर आ गया है। अब नाउ नेशनल ई असेसमेंट सेंटर विल अप्लाई वेरियस टेक्निकल टूल्स, उनके पास टेक्निकल टूल्स होंगे, उससे देखेंगे कि ये असेसमेंट इन ऑर्डर है, इसमें कोई, कई बार होगा कि जीरो असेसमेंट है, जो आपने रिटर्न भरी उसी के बेस पे असेसमेंट हो गई, और उनको लगता है इसमें कोई खास फर्क नहीं पड़ा है, कोई चेंज नहीं है, तो उस केस में वो फाइनल ऑर्डर बनाकर असेसी को अपलोड करके भेज देंगे, फाइनल ऑर्डर। लेकिन उनको लगता है कि असेसमेंट यूनिट ने कोई मॉडिफिकेशन सजेस्ट की है, एनहांसमेंट की है, सब मॉडिफिकेशन सजेस्टेड, तो वो शो कॉज देंगे असेसिंग को, शो कॉज व्हाई दिस असेसमेंट बी नॉट डन according to this suggestion or these modification. ये किसको दे दिया गया? शो कॉज एसएससी को, कि तुम्हारा ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर में असेसमेंट यूनिट ने ये मॉडिफिकेशन सजेस्ट की हैं, ये चेंजेस सजेस्ट किए हैं, प्लीज शो कॉज. आप उसका जवाब देंगे, रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे. अब नेशनल ई असेसमेंट को ये भी लगता है कि यार ये ऑर्डर अच्छा पास नहीं किया है, इसमें सारे लीगल केसेस नहीं डाले, या इसमें फैक्ट्स नहीं इनकॉर्पोरेट हुए, या इसमें तो और असेसमेंट होनी चाहिए, ये गलत है. तो वो उसको रेफर कर देंगे रिव्यू यूनिट को. दैट विल बी सेंड टू, ऑर्डर विल बी सेंड टू रिव्यू यूनिट. अब रिव्यू यूनिट पे ऑर्डर आ गया. अब रिव्यू यूनिट क्या करेगा? देखेगा क्या इस ऑर्डर में सारे लीगल केसेस डाल दिए गए हैं, सारे फैक्ट्स रिकॉर्ड, स्पीकिंग ऑर्डर है, किस चीज की चेंजेस मांगी गई है, क्या वो जो चेंजेस अनाउंसमेंट कहा गया है वो वैलिड है कि वैलिड नहीं है, क्या क्या और चेंजेस आनी चाहिए. ये रिव्यू यूनिट देखेगा ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर पास बाय यू. उस पर सारी हिस्ट्री होगी. फिर देखेगा स्पीकिंग ऑर्डर भी है, फैक्ट्स हैं, लीगल केसेस है, कोई फर्दर और चाहिए एडवाइस, तो वो करेगा. और फिर वो भेजकर रिपोर्ट बनाकर नेशनल ई असेसमेंट सेंटर को भेजेगा. अब नेशनल ई असेसमेंट सेंटर फिर देखेगी, इफ दे हैव कंकर विद द असेसमेंट ऑर्डर, वो कुछ नहीं करेंगे. अगर कंकर नहीं करा, कोई फर्दर सजेशन मांग ली गई है, तो वो फिर उसको फर्दर मॉडिफिकेशन मांगी गई है, तो उस असेसमेंट ऑर्डर को, ड्राफ्ट को, प्लस द रिपोर्ट विल बी सेंट टू अनदर असेसमेंट यूनिट. वो तीसरे असेसमेंट यूनिट को भेजेंगे, जो हो सकता है बैठा हो कलकत्ता में या बैठा हो बेंगलोर में. वो फिर इसको रिव्यू करेगा. नहीं, रिव्यू नहीं करेगा. एक ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर है, एक रिव्यू वालों की सजेशन है, रिव्यू यूनिट की सजेशंस है, मॉडिफिकेशंस हैं, उसको देखकर वो अपना ऑर्डर देगा. और फिर उसके बाद ये ऑर्डर आएगा, असेसमेंट यूनिट को इन्फॉर्म कर देंगे ये चेंजेस हुई है. उसके बाद ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर फाइनल ऑर्डर बनकर उसको भेज दिया जाएगा इसको. अब आपने मुझसे पूछना होगा कि सर हमें तो हियरिंग भी तो चाहिए, हमने रिस्पॉन्ड तो कर दिया, और रिस्पॉन्ड तो 2 बार कर दिया, 3 बार कर दिया, फैक्ट सारे दे दिए, बट वी वांट हियरिंग. आप रिक्वेस्ट भेजेंगे कि हमें हियरिंग चाहिए, वी वांट दिस टू बी हर्ड. जब आप रिक्वेस्ट भेजेंगे, दैट विल बी फॉरवर्डेड बाय द नेशनल ई असेसमेंट सेंटर टू रीजनल ई असेसमेंट सेंटर. अब रीजनल ई असेसमेंट सेंटर का जो चीफ कमिश्नर होगा, प्रिंसिपल कमिश्नर, वो देखेगा कि ये जेन्युइन रिक्वेस्ट है हियरिंग की कि जेन्युइन नहीं है. अगर वो जेन्युइन रिक्वेस्ट लगेगी तो वो आपको अलाउ कर देगा हियरिंग के लिए. लेकिन सुनिए रमानी जी, हियरिंग जो होगा, रमानी जी, हियरिंग जो होगा वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस होगी, जैसे आज हम और आप कर रहे हैं वैसे वहां भी होगा. लेकिन इस केस में आप मुझे देख रहे हैं और मैं आपको देख रहा हूं. उस केस में आप एओ असेसमेंट एओ को देख नहीं सकेंगे, उसका ब्लर्ड कर दिया जाएगा स्क्रीन. वो आपको देख सकेगा लेकिन आप उसको नहीं देख सकेंगे. वो आपको क्यों देख सकता है? कि जब आपसे क्वेश्चन करेगा, क्रॉस वेरिफिकेशन करेगा, तो वो आपका फेस रीडिंग करेगा कि आपके पर क्या इफेक्ट हो रहा है, घबरा गए कि नहीं घबरा गए. फेस रीडिंग से भी तो काफी चीजें पता लगती हैं. तो वो करके आपकी रिकॉर्डिंग होगी, वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग. तो कोई गलत काम नहीं, कोई गलत बात नहीं कर सकते हो. कभी वहां सोचो भैया क्या हाल चाल है, हम मिल लेंगे, या आपका क्या एड्रेस है, या आपका क्या फोन है, वो भूल जाइए. वो रिकॉर्डिंग वीडियो हो रही है, और वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग में वो क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं, आप जवाब दे रहे हैं, आप अपना प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हैं. वो कुछ नहीं हो सकेगा. और आपको कॉपी मिल जाएगी वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग की, आपको चाहिए, और उनकी भी परमानेंट रिकॉर्ड में कॉपी होगी. तो मैं ये बता दिया, कोई तरीका नहीं है उनको मिलने का, कोई सोच के भी ना करना. और फिर वीडियो वो रिकॉर्डिंग होगी और उसके बाद ऑर्डर पास होगा. ये है सर. और पेनल्टी का भी इनिशिएट हो जाएगा.
सर ये थोड़ा आप इंग्लिश में बोलेंगे तो कुछ साउथ वालों का.
So that's what I'm saying, that in this case what will happen, that after getting the complete information, after getting it reviewed, the draft order will be prepared, the final order will be prepared by the National E-Assessment Center and will be forwarded to the way. But if you want any personal hearing to be done in this case, you have to send your request to National E-Assessment Center that in this particular case, we want a personal hearing of the assessee as well as the council. Assessee council will make a request, name will be provided that we want personal hearing. That request will be forwarded to Regional E-Assessment Center. Regional E-Assessment Center will look into the matter, whether the demand, whether the request is genuine or not. If they find the request is in order, it is genuine, they will give you an opportunity of being heard. You will be intimated that on such and such date, you are supposed to come either to the department or on this video conference, and we will give you the opportunity of being heard. You will not be able to see the officer concerned, but he will be able to see you, to see your reaction, face reaction, whenever he puts a question to you. And you will be given opportunity of being heard, which is video recorded. You can get a copy of that also, and thereafter the assessment will be done. So my point of view is there is no chance of having any connection or to find out the person concerned who is making an assessment. And then the order will be passed and sent to you along with the initiation of penalty proceeding. This will be passed by the who will be the National E-Assessment Center. Final order, National E-Assessment Center, and intimation also. Now, after everything is over, the entire record will be handed over by the National E-Assessment Center to the jurisdictional assessing officer. Now, the jurisdiction of all assessing officers are being changed. They are not responsible for only one jurisdiction. They will have wider jurisdiction because there are separate assessment unit, there are separate jurisdictional officer. Jurisdictional officer, assessing officer will get the whole record. Now, you want any rectification to be done till it becomes faceless. You want any rectification to be done, you will have to contact the jurisdictional assessing officer. If there is any refund to be granted to you, jurisdictional assessing officer. There is any amendment to be made by amount is recoverable from you, jurisdictional officer will go for recovery. If there is a order passed by the commissioner appeal and it is remanded, it is given to you, jurisdictional officer will do the effect to that order. So my point is, this jurisdictional officer till to date is not faceless, but gradually it will also become faceless. I have told you that everything will be faceless in the due course of time. Rectification will be faceless, amendment will be faceless, the giving effect to the appeal will be faceless, even revision will be faceless. Everything is going to be faceless because they have already introduced the various sections. In this act, in this amendment act, they have introduced the section. So what I'm trying to explain, now this has become faceless assessment, but still some part is not faceless. Two things are not faceless. Ramani Saab, one is the cases under central charge. You know the cases under central charge? That is investigation cases, where it is central charge. You know that who makes the law? The parliament makes the law. The politicians are sitting there. And for their own interest, they have not made it faceless. Investigation is still not faceless. But let me tell you, it is only for top people, high class people, where there is an investigation. And they have left the scope there. Because in investigation central charge, it is still not faceless. So pressures, pulls and pressures, you can understand. You can understand. I don't want to use anything. And still international taxation is also faceless. That is okay. That is a case of non-resident and lot of things to be discussed. So that is still faceless. But other will all be faceless assessment. International taxation is not faceless. It is still same method. So that's what I'm saying, that this is the faceless assessment scheme which has come and implemented, completely implemented. You will be now receiving all notices online and you have to respond that within 15 days, and then the process which I've told you will start, and finally the order will be passed by assessment unit as a draft order, which will be ultimately passed by the National E-Assessment Center. We will call it as final order, along with the initiation of penalty proceedings. Clear, sir? I have done faceless assessment. Now I'm coming to faceless appeal. At the time of launching this faceless assessment scheme on 13th August 20, you remember the finance minister has, the prime minister has said, we will introduce faceless appeal by 25th of September. Remember, 25th of September. And exactly on that date, faceless appeal has also seen the light of the day. They had, Bharat Bhai, they had introduced some amendments in section 250 at the time of passing the Finance Act 20. There was section 250 subsection 6b, 250 subsection 6c, and 250 subsection 6d, which was introduced by the Finance Act 2020, that we will introduce a faceless appeal. And it has seen the light of the day on 25th of September by bringing notification number 76 date by 2020. Another notification number 77. Because in section 256b, what is written? Language exactly like faceless assessment scheme. What is the language I've explained? The central government may make a scheme by notification for faceless appeal, for disposal of faceless appeal, for disposal of appeal by a commissioner appeal, disposal of appeal by a commissioner appeal, so as to bring greater efficiency, greater transparency, greater accountability, so as to eliminate interface between, so please note the word, so as to eliminate the interface between the commissioner of appeal and the assessee to the extent technologically possible. They said, we will bring a faceless appellate scheme. Faceless appellate scheme. What is the faceless appellate scheme? To dispose of the cases by commissioner appeal so as to bring greater efficiency, greater transparency, greater accountability by how to do it? So as to eliminate interface between the commissioner appeal and the assessee in the course of appellate proceedings to the extent technologically possible. And second is optimization or utilization of optimized utilization of resources by economies of scale and functional specialization. And the third is to introduce faceless appellate system to be done by the commissioner appeal with dynamic jurisdiction. This section, they brought section 250 subsection 6b. 6c said, we will bring notification so that certain section of the income tax will require some modification, will require some adaptation, will require some changes. And 250 section 6d said that these notification 76, 77, which has already come, will be placed before the houses of the parliament. And they have done it. The scheme has seen the light of the day. Now, in this scheme, this is called as Faceless Appellate Scheme 2020. Please note the name, Faceless Appellate Scheme 2020. The central government will constitute Faceless Appellate Center. And they have, its name is National Faceless Appellate Center. That is National Faceless E-Assessment Center, or now National Faceless Assessment Center. The name of this is National Faceless Appellate Center, already constituted. And they will constitute so many appellate units as it deemed necessary. under the control of commissioner appeal, maybe one or more than one commissioner appeal. So what I'm saying, sir, appellate units, they have constituted appellate unit with dynamic jurisdiction. It is jurisdictionless also. And they have constituted faceless appellate center, national faceless appellate center with centralized charge and dynamic jurisdiction. Now, when you apply for appeal, electronically, you do it in form number 35. You know that you apply for, you go for appeal by filing a form and depositing the requisite fee. That appeal will go to National Faceless Appellate Center. You filed an appeal, National Faceless Appellate Center. National Faceless Appellate Center, by automated allocation system through computer, will allot that appeal to one of the appellate unit anywhere in India. You file an appeal in Mumbai, they will jurisdiction, they will send it to anywhere in India, faceless appellate unit. That is called appellate unit. It will be forwarded to them. Now, sometimes what happens, sir, Bharat Bhai, you file an appeal, but you also attach an application that condonation of delay, because you have to file an appeal within 30 days. Sometimes you are not able to file appeal within the period of 30 days, then you apply for condonation of delay also. Now, your appeal and condonation of delay application will be forwarded to the appellate unit. National Faceless Appellate Center will not take a decision. The decision has to be taken by whom? By the appellate unit. On receiving that application for condonation and receiving that appeal form, now they will decide whether to condone the delay or not to condone the delay. The decision has to be taken by commissioner appeal. The decision will be taken, either they will reject the condonation, they will reject your appeal, or they will accept your condonation. Whatever they do, they will inform the National Faceless Appellate Center. And National Faceless Appellate Center, in turn, will inform the assessee whether your appeal has been accepted or your appeal has been rejected because of no delay, condonation of delay. So that power is with whom? The power is not with National Faceless Appellate Center. The power of accepting the condonation application is with the appellate commissioner, appellate unit. I don't know which appellate unit is this. Maybe sitting in Coimbatore, maybe sitting in Bangalore, maybe sitting anywhere. That appellate unit will decide whether to accept that application of the appeal on Form 35 with the condonation of delay, whether it is a genuine reason, and if it is a genuine reason, they may condone the delay. Another point also, sir. Sometimes your assessment is done under 144 and you are asked to pay the money. You have not filed the return. You have not filed the return. But in that case, whatever is the return, you have to pay the advance tax or whatever was due. Sometimes they say, look here, you have to deposit that money. But you can make an application for not to deposit that money, and that application will also be forwarded to appellate unit to grant permission for depositing or not to be deposited. Now your plea has been admitted. Now, sir, you want to give some additional ground of appeal. You have to write that communicate of additional ground of appeal to whom? To the National Faceless Assessment Center. National Faceless Appellate Center will forward that to the appellate unit to accept the ground of appeal or not to accept the ground. The decision has to be taken by whom? The appellate unit. The appellate unit will take a decision. They may admit your additional ground of appeal. They may not admit your additional ground of appeal. They will inform this to the National Faceless Appellate Center, and National Faceless Appellate Center will in turn inform to the assessee whether additional ground of appeal have been admitted or not admitted. Similarly, sometimes you have to submit additional evidences. For submission of evidences, again, you have to make an application to the National Faceless Appellate Center that we want to submit more evidences, additional evidences. They will take that and send it to the appellate unit. The appellate unit commissioner of appeal will decide whether to admit that evidence that is formed. You remember that rule, to admit that additional evidences or not admit evidences. You want a hearing, the hearing may also be given to you. I'll tell you that will be subject to the approval of commissioner. The hearing will be principal commissioner. The hearing will be given to you, and that will be also video recorded. Coming back. Now, this appellate unit wants certain advice. They may be having technical unit for giving them advice. Rather, they may appellate unit itself may have some technical unit also. The advice will be given to them. Now, you want an opportunity of being heard. You will have to apply to the National Faceless Appellant Center. Sir, we want an opportunity of being heard in this matter. Yes, they will forward it to the Regional Faceless Appellate Center, and they will decide whether the Principal Chief Commissioner, whether to grant you this permission of personal hearing or not. इसके against court में case किया हुआ है. How can you do this? This is our right of being heard. ये fundamental right है of being heard. How can you say that it will be decided by Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax? No, we should be given an absolute right of appearing. Let's say what the court decide. Even if the court decide, how does it matter? They'll give you the opportunity of being heard. But this all will be faceless. This all will be video recording. This all will be video conference. And you will be asked question there, and you may be given opportunity of being heard. And after that, the draft appeal order will be prepared by the appellate unit. And appellate unit will send the draft order to whom? To the National Appellate Center. National Faceless Appellate Center again will apply automatic tools and to see whether the order is right or not. And they can get this order reviewed from other appellate units. There I don't understand. Commissioner appeal order is being reviewed by the another commissioner appeal. Something very strange. But they have said they have a power to get it reviewed. The review unit will also be there, or they can get it reviewed. And after that, the order will be passed by the National Faceless Appellant Center and send it to you. Are you noticing? It is on the same line like Faceless Assessment Scheme, but here instead of national, now they want certain inquiry to be done, appellate center, appellate unit, they will write to the National Faceless Assessment Center. We want certain inquiry to be done by the assessing officer or by the National E-Assessment Center. They will write to them, and then they will go for certain inquiry. They want certain information from them, from the assessing officer or National E-Assessment Center related to that case. The request will be forwarded by National Appellate Center to National E-Assessment Center or National Faceless Assessment Center to provide that information, to do that inquiry, to do various other activities. And then they will pass the order. So my point is, the job of the appellate unit is to write to National Appellate Center. National Appellate Center will deal with the assessee, will also deal with the National E-Assessment Center, will also deal with the assessing officer. The appeal, commissioner appeal cannot deal with them. It is, the commissioner appeal, the appellate unit has to deal only with National Faceless Appellate Center. National Faceless Appellate Center will in turn deal with the assessee, will deal with the appellate units, will deal with National E-Assessment Center, will deal with assessing officer, will deal with other experts. And then the final assessment is done. There is a lot of grudge amongst the commissioner appeal. How can it be done? There are so many issues which are involved in the appeal, and you expect us to do all faceless. They say, yes, we expect you to do faceless. If a opportunity of being is there, you can make a video conference and talk to them. But we don't want your physical presence there. So this is the another scheme which has already seen the light of the day, and now they are making the system change, and you will be getting all faceless appellate center notice that your case has been forwarded for this appellate unit, and you have to submit your reply to us and all explanation written to us. So this is what I wanted to tell you. Now you have your questions. You can ask as many questions you want. You want any other reply, I can make it. But let me tell you, in the course of time, maybe in the next year, in one more year, everything will be faceless. Whether it is inquiry, whether it is notice, whether it is amendment, whether it is rectification, whether it is revision order, whether it is intimation of loss, whether it is intimation of demand, whether it is notice of demand, whether it is what you call income escaping assessment, whether it is dispute resolution panel, anything and everything, whatever is in income tax, is going to be faceless. So please keep your face. Face is now with you, not the face value with you. So thank you very much, and kindly ask as many questions as you want. Tell me, sir.
Thank you, sir. There are questions which have been which we have received on YouTube, and
Please do ask.
most of them are you have covered it, sir. But I'll again repeat them. Sir, when there is a notice issued under Section 148 for assessment year 13-14, which was issued on say 21st April 2020, and the faceless scheme is with effect from 13th August 2020. The jurisdictional officer issued notice under 142(1) on 31st October 2020. Whether it is valid on considering the
Sir,
imposition of... Yes, sir.
Sir, you will have to wait and watch for they are taking decision. The overhauling is being done. They are taking a decision about the existing cases. They are saying that after 31st August, no notice will come directly. It has to come through National E-Assessment Center. But about the existing position, you wait and watch. They will inform you whether it has to be replied to National E-Assessment Center, or you have to go to the because now there is no jurisdictional officer. The jurisdictional officer's role has changed. That will be only to the, but they may say the existing cases may be done by the jurisdictional officer, but that jurisdictional officer which was there earlier may have become the assessment officer in the assessment unit, and there may be some other jurisdictional officer who has taken your jurisdiction. There may be some other assessing officer who might have taken your jurisdiction. That you wait and watch. In few days' time, everything will be clear, whether it will be done electronically or through National E-Assessment Center, or to be done by the jurisdictional assessing officer. You wait for some time.
Thank you, sir. Sir, what about the valuation? Any reference by the valuation officer? How will that be done faceless? There are cases of
Sir,
valuation.
Valuation, verification, technical unit. The technical unit will ask for valuation. What you do, the assessment unit will write that we want verification. 142A section. You know that 142A section for valuation. They will say that we want valuation to be done. The assessment unit. Then you go for valuation. You go for valuation. By technical unit will in turn get it valued. But today you want valuation to be done. If you want opportunity of being heard, today it is not faceless, but very soon it is going to be faceless. Valuation also faceless. They can have video conference. They can ask question to you on the faceless, but there will not be no personal contact with them also. Wait and watch. It is going to be there.
Okay. So another question of penalty, you already answered, I think, in the letter. Another one is on the company SSC, and units will be knowing which company assessment. You already answered that.
Oh, they will be knowing, but no problem.
Yes.
They are no problem. They will be knowing.
Yes. Sir, then there is another one. I think so you have covered. Can we attend the hearing as a representative without the SSC being present?
Yes. You can, but you will have to give your name.
Without the SSC being present?
Names to the along with the letter to the National Faceless Assessment Center, that I, on behalf of assessee or assessee, will also appear. You will have to give the name, and then you can come.
Okay. Sir, what will be the status of appeals already heard before 25th September 20?
That's what I'm saying. The decision is being taken. So far,
Till
everything
time.
is stopped. Everything is stopped. The decision is being taken.
Okay. That you have covered it. The power of enhancement for a CIT appeals in a faceless effect in faceless appeal.
That is modification of order. They will give it to the faceless assessment center, faceless assessment appellate center. That in turn will forward to the what you call the SSC to respond to that. And after responding that, again the report will go to again that will go. You want personalizing will be done. Same order,
Okay.
same way,
Same.
same way.
Okay, sir. There is another one. There is an order under 144. The appeal has been filed, and we would like to introduce additional grounds of appeals and the paper book. So I
I
think
told
that
you now, you will have to write to National Faceless Appellate Unit. National Faceless Appellate Unit will send the request to the appellate, the concerned appellate unit. The concerned applicant unit may admit or may not admit. It is up to them. They may give you opportunity of her. That is a different thing.
Okay, sir. Now, how to ask for cross-examination of witness in faceless area?
Very
arena?
easy. Very easy. The one X will be there, Y will be there, and in between, third person will be there. The verification or what you call technical unit, that can be done. Very easy. A verification, very easy, sir. Can't we have a video conference? It is video conference, sir.
Right.
So in between there will be a person that is the what you call the technical unit for doing the cross verification, or maybe the verification unit for that purpose.
Okay.
Because cross verification and the witness to be recorded by a statement to be recorded by verification unit. So they will have the role to do that.
Okay. Sir, we have received an order under 143(1)(a), adjustment order via mail. And
I know one adjustment order. Huh?
Yeah, and on proceeding tab of the income tax portal, I missed replying. Now it is close to reply. So what can be done? It has to be,
Sir,
it has to go in appeal.
you have to go for rectification. If it is written in 143(1)(a) that your portal is closed, now we have referred the case to the assessing officer, then you will have to go to the assessing officer for rectification. The jurisdictional assessing officer for rectification. Because the time limit is there, you can get it rectified. But what happens is, if you don't reply within a certain time, then the case is forwarded to earlier case, I'm telling you. Today it will be a different story altogether in a faceless. Earlier it was referred to the AO portal, and AO then do the rectification. But rectificate job is still with the AO till to date.
Right. Okay, sir. In case of search cases, this is a personal question to you. In case of search cases, what do you suggest? Whether we should opt for e-assessment?
There is no e-assessment in case of search.
Or
there
physical.
is central charge. There is no e-assessment in case of search. There is still central. If it is central charge, then it is not an e-assessment at all.
Okay.
For that, there is exception. 187 instructions is there on 13th of August that they will remain under, they will not be under faceless scheme.
Right. Sir, how to withdraw appeals in the new scheme?
Procedure will come, don't worry, the way you were doing earlier, the same way you will do here through National Faceless Appellate Center, through National Faceless Appellate Center, that we want to withdraw.
Okay. Okay, sir. This is a bit local question as such. Whether letter of authority is required and again on a 500 rupee stamp paper now?
ये तो आपके उधर का पता लगे. I can't say.
But
I can't say this is Stamp Act. It has nothing to do with the Income Tax Act.
Okay. Is it necessary to file power of attorney? Is it necessary to file a power of attorney to represent the SSC?
Certainly they will have to. Same way, electronically. You just file power of attorney, National Faceless Appellate Center, National Faceless Appellate Center may forward it later. That is done. Yes, it is. It will be required. However, anybody can appear. It's not that only authorized representative can appear. Under Section 288, authorized representative definition is there. So how can you do it? You will have to file the power of attorney.
Sir, one question is that when you said that at the time of having a online session with the officer can see you, we cannot see the officer. But in a case where we are having a cross verification with a witness, are we in a position to see the witness, to see their face reaction? or we will be
विटनेस तो आप ही ला रहे हैं, विटनेस तो आप ला रहे हैं, क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन करेंगे तो देखेंगे तो क्या हो गया, वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग हो रही है सर, इज ऑल वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग, ऑल वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग। अभी भी रास्ता ढूंढ रहे हैं, देख लिए लोग, हम नहीं सुधरेंगे।
नहीं सर, इसमें ये है कि विटनेस सामने वाले ने किसी ने दिया है डिपार्टमेंट ने, एंड वी वांट टू क्रॉस एग्जामिन हिम
हाँ तो अलाउड होगा ना, आप देख सकेंगे उसको,
तो हाँ, उसका शक्ल हम देख पाएंगे क्या, फेस रिएक्शन,
लेकिन फिर हम नहीं सुधरेंगे।
वो बात सही है।
वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग होगी।
Okay.
चलिए।
Sir, in cases now jurisdiction of second appeal would be decided against the first appellate authority.
वो तो ITAT है ना,
ITAT आएगा।
ITAT में भी शायद जुरिडिक्शन हो जाए, थोड़ी जुरिडिक्शन लेस, उसकी भी पावर हाल ले ली है इन्होंने।
Okay. Sir, SSC को ड्राफ्ट ऑर्डर का कॉपी मिलेगा बिफोर फाइनलाइजिंग द फाइनल ऑर्डर?
मैं जो सजेशन किया गया, जो मॉडिफिकेशन, उसके बारे में देंगे कि दैट वी वांट दिस टू बी एनहांस्ड, टू बी डन विद दिस, उसका रिप्लाई मांगेंगे आपसे, मांगेंगे।
Okay.
Whatever suggestions government coming, whatever modification coming from the order.
सर एक ये क्वेश्चन ऐसा है, what we have to do in case the appeal filed physically in the case of a death of an SSC with the reason that CPC have not registered legal heir many
No,
times.
you will have to do it. Gone are the days. You can't file your return unless you can, legal heir is registered. Please don't tell me that. Now everything has to be done. No physical will prevail. You go to the portal, get yourself registered with the death certificate given there, and then it is registered. So it is very easy process.
सर आज के दिन पे कॉम्प्लिकेशन बहुत उसके अंदर है, लीगल है,
नहीं सर, पता नहीं है हमें, कंप्यूटर का सिस्टम नहीं आता, मेरे जैसे आदमी को अब कंप्यूटर नहीं आता तो क्या करें, जूनियर को कहिए।
नहीं सर, कई बार टेक्निकल वो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन की वजह से अटक जाता है रजिस्ट्रेशन।
सर अब इजी कर दिया है, सिर्फ डेथ सर्टिफिकेट लगाना है, इजी कर दिया है। लीगल ईयर का रिटर्न भरने के लिए तो डेथ सर्टिफिकेट सफिशिएंट है,
एफिडेविट वगैरह कुछ नहीं चाहिए, कोर्ट ऑर्डर वगैरह?
एफिडेविट भी चाहिए, कई बार एफिडेविट भी चाहिए, क्योंकि कल आप कह देंगे मैं तो वो लीगल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ही नहीं हूँ, मैं लीगल वो नहीं हूँ, तो एफिडेविट दे दीजिए, बिल है तो बिल दे दीजिए, जो भी है एक प्रूफ तो देना पड़ेगा कि आप हैं, ये तो देना पड़ेगा सर। वो
अच्छा सर,
क्या जब वहां जाते हो सर, वहां जाते हो तो भी तो देते हो कि मैं हूँ जी लीगल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, प्रूफ तो देते ही हो ना।
अच्छा सर, किसी केस में फिजिकल अपील फाइल हुई है कुछ जमाने फिजिकल के टाइम पे, और उसको डिजिटल नहीं भी किया गया अभी, उसका क्या स्टेटस
तो वो अपलोड कर रहे हैं, वो डिजिटल कर रहे हैं।
अच्छा,
वहाँ प्रोसेस हो रहा है अभी डिजिटल का,
क्योंकि
they are doing it.
Assessee has forgotten to do it digitally when the time was given.
No, you may not do it, they will do it. जो पहले तो एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं होती, जो अगर जो हो गई है उसको वो डिजिटल कर रहे हैं, अपलोड कर रहे हैं।
क्योंकि वो before the announcement some were filed and they have not been converted to
digital. They are doing it themselves.
Okay.
I think so, sir. That covers all our questions asked till now. And before
नहीं, एक ITAT का है भरत,
लास्ट एक सेकंड। Okay, ITAT appeals है may also be faceless with no jurisdiction. The process
gradually अभी नहीं, क्योंकि ITAT का हमारे नीचे आता नहीं है, लेकिन डिपार्टमेंट ने, इनकम टैक्स ने वहां पर पावर ले ली है टू इशू नोटिफिकेशन, पार्लियामेंट नोटिफिकेशन इशू करेगा तो आ ही जाएगा ना। अभी ITAT हुआ नहीं है, ग्रेजुअली वो भी होगा, ग्रेजुअली वो भी होगा।
Okay sir, thank you sir. Yeah, Vijay, anything from your side, Vijay?
There was nothing actually. Manita, the lady who had asked that 143(1) query, she wanted to ask something additional. If I can unmute her, that's what I was thinking.
क्या नाम है विजय?
Manita Verma.
So Manita is there. I can see Manita there. Manita ji, can you ask a question? Manita ji. Hello.
Manita, you can ask your question. Yeah.
So my question is, I received in 143(1).
Manita, can you just be a bit loud, please?
I can't hear.
Okay, so we received a 143(1) order, and we have not been picked up for scrutiny assessment for that. Now we had filed certain rectifications because in that order, 143(1) order, there were certain adjustments. So we filed the rectification for areas where it was possible to file the revised exemption. But there is one case, third, of PA-PSIC, which is paid after the due date of the relevant act, but before the filing of the return of income, which we have not disallowed because in the tax audit report, it catches from the tax audit report, the
Are
disallowed.
you talking about ESIPF?
Yes, yes.
There is a problem about ESIPF. The CPC has not allowed you, but the instructions have been given to the various commissionerate that in the appeal kindly allow this
So
in
that
some
means
cases. But in
I,
Delhi they are not allowing it.
right. So, sir, I should
You
have
file an
filed,
appeal. You should have filed an appeal.
but I didn't file the appeal in the
Doesn't
rectification.
matter. You file a rectification and then file an appeal.
Okay,
A
so I will
rectification
file
order
an
will be
appeal.
rejected, then file an appeal.
But this has become a recurring problem. Every year they are disallowing, and every time we have to go for appeal or revision.
Sir, but let me tell you, law is very clear.
Yeah.
This is only certain judgments of the various high court
Yeah.
where they have allowed this, but there are certain judgment of Chennai High Court and other high court where they have not allowed this. In Delhi, earlier AMIL judgment, they were allowing it. Then Bharat Hotel judgment, they disallowed it. And they are not allowing it. So wait and watch. They are going to take a decision finally. It is already lying in the Supreme Court there because there will be contempt of court if they don't listen to the High Court, particular High Court. So if your High Court has given a decision in your favor, you will get the relief. If your decision of the High Court has not given in your favor, you may not get the relief.
No, sir, we are getting relief in revision or appeal, but the problem
Correct.
is every year if you have to go, it becomes a
Sir,
tedious process. That
there
is-
are CPCs has jurisdiction somewhere else.
Yeah.
And wherever they have jurisdiction in that particular high court, they have not allowed it. So they are duty bound not to allow it, otherwise contempt of court. So they jurisdictional problem. CPC is also at various places. So wherever CPC jurisdiction is, CPC is in a particular place, their high court judgment is against you, they will not allow you.
Okay.
Right, Vijay? Any other questions now?
There are two more questions that have come. If you just check it out, I have sent it. Sir, many are asking what about fresh CAs because when they used to go in assessment and appeal, they used to get some experience. How will they get it now? A general query has come.
ये तो एक्सपीरियंस अब ज्यादा आएगा. अब तो you will have to read. मैंने शुरू में बोला, you will have to prepare, you have to do drafting properly, you have to reply properly, and you go for personal hearing on video conference. You have to be confident and no personal contact, but every other thing is a mind contact. You have to use your mind now. You have to use your mind, no personal contact. Thank you very much. जो आप जानते थे वो जान पहचान खत्म हो. अब अपने पड़ोसियों को जानिए. अब इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट को मत जानिए.
हमारे
वो
ऑफिसर
आपके लिए अब बैंड हो गया एंट्री वहां.
ऑफिसर के कैबिन की चाय भी बंद हो गई ना सर.
वो मैं बंद वो चाय तो तब पिलाता
समोसे
था
भी
जब
गए भाई.
सर वो चाय बड़ी महंगी पड़ती थी. वो महंगी चाय पीते थे आप. सस्ती चाय कभी मिलती नहीं है वहां.
Sir, एक और चीज था. It has been informed that a writ petition has been filed in Delhi High Court
I
regarding.
know. That is relating to personal hearing.
Okay.
Because they said the principal chief commissioner will decide. How is he to decide? Because I want hearing, it is my birthright, it is my fundamental right. You are not giving me that right. That will be decided in our favor, let me tell you.
Okay.
And what about the remand report if it is required by CIT appeal?
They will write to NAAC. NAAC will get it done. Everything through the proper channel. NAAC, a National Faceless Appellate Center, will write to NAEC for remand report for everything. They will do it, get it done from the appellant unit or wherever unit they want.
I think Bharat,
सबके आंसर हैं सर. ये मत सोचिए कि कहीं तरीके से आप निकाल लेंगे. तरीका कोई नहीं बचा है.
Yeah, Vijay.
सर आपके पास इसके लिए तो लोग आते हैं ना.
नहीं मेरे पास भी अब क्या आएंगे. दिमाग के लिए आएंगे, नॉलेज के लिए आएंगे, माइंड के लिए आएंगे, जजमेंट के लिए आएंगे, ओपिनियन के लिए आएंगे, लेकिन कॉन्टेक्ट के लिए मत आना मेरे पास. अब मेरा कोई कॉन्टेक्ट नहीं है. कोई लॉ बदलवाना है तो मैं करूंगा. वो तो मैं ऊपर जाके बातें करता हूँ. कई चीजों के लिए मैं अभी भी लड़ रहा हूँ, बट नीचे से भूल जाइए. मेरा कोई कॉन्टेक्ट नहीं है. मेरे भरोसे मत रहना संजय जी, मेरे भरोसे मत रहना.
सर एक क्वेश्चन ऐसा आया हुआ है. I have missed filing appeal against 143(1) order Now can I file appeal against 154?
सर 154 करके 154 की अपील फाइल कर दीजिए, ऑर्डर अगेंस्ट होगा आपके, तो मैंने तो बोला ही है, वो तो बोला ही है मैंने, 154 के लिए अप्लाई करिए, 150 का टाइम है तो अप्लाई कर दीजिए, वो आप ऑर्डर रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा, आप उसकी अपील फाइल कर दीजिए.
Okay.
Sir, one queries question has come whether the faceless assessment and the appeal will help assess or burden the compliance procedure more.
बिगिनिंग में टीदिंग ट्रबल होगी सर, आपको भी लगेगी, उनको भी लगेगी, और वो इचिंग तो करेगा ना, तंग तो करेगा ना, हमें भी नहीं फील होगा, उनको भी नहीं होगा. लेकिन जब 26 AS नहीं था, जब क्वार्टरली स्टेटमेंट नहीं थी, तो आप कितने परेशान होते थे. और जब से ये सब सिस्टमाइज हो गया, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फाइलिंग में शुरू में कितना दिक्कत होती थी रिटर्न फाइल करने की, और अब कितने आराम से हो जाती है. सर टाइम लगेगा सर, एक्सेप्ट करना आसान काम, चेंज को एक्सेप्ट करना आसान नहीं होता है. अब तो एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा, मजबूरी है सर, कोई चांस नहीं है, ना एक्सेप्ट करो. पहले कंप्यूटर लोग एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते थे, और नहीं मैं नहीं करूंगा. ये मोबाइल भी हमारे बच्चों ने हमें सिखा दिया, नहीं तो हमें मोबाइल की एप्लीकेशन नहीं आया करती थी, सीख लिया ना.
Right, sir.
विजय जी एक एक चीज अब आपको आती है, ये सारे ऐप, नहीं तो ये तो ऐप लगते थे, हमें ऐप तो लगते ही नहीं थे, ये क्या है. लेकिन अब तो की सीख लिया ना, ये सब कुछ करना पड़ेगा. इस जमाना बदल गया है, पुराने आदमी को कहो या तो बदल लो या रिटायर हो जाओ. अपने आप को चेंज करना पड़ेगा, और इस वक्त भी सीखना पड़ेगा, मैं भी सीख रहा हूँ क्या करूं.
Okay. Bharat, I think we can proceed with the vote of thanks.
Right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Let me first begin by thanking the Master Blaster CA Dr. Girish Ahuja, sir, for sharing his thoughts and views on the given subject. Sir, we are overwhelmed as you were gracious enough to accept our invitation and be with us on this Sunday morning. Thank you
And
for your
thank to
time.
Mr. Sanjay Sharma also. I can't say no to him.
Sir, thank you for your time and deliberation. Yes, I would like to thank all consortium associations for their continued support, which started from March 2020 and is going strong. Looking forward to be with this team for future programs too. Yes, Doctor, and thanks to Sanjay Sharma from Delhi for his continued support. Jai Shri Krishna, Sanjay ji.
Jai Shri Krishna ji.
And
Sir, we are like Hanuman to Dr. Ahuja. Wherever he goes, we follow him.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yes.
Sir, so nice of you, sir. And would fail in my duty if I don't formally thank CA Vijay Keval Ramani, IPP of our association, for literally inventing this series of online seminars during lockdown. And you all will agree that it has brought all of us together, not physically, but virtually, maintaining social distance. So thank you, Vijay. I would like to thank all the participants. We had today 258 participants on Zoom and YouTube together. So I thank all the participants for being part of today's seminar and looking forward to serving you all more for such glorious programs. So friends, we have CA Achal Kapoor speaking to us on 21st on GST assessment and departmental audit under GST in the evening 4 to 6. And on 28th of November, we are having a lecture meet by CA Pankaj Shah, again in the evening from 4 to 6 on clause-wise analysis of Form 3CD. So once again, I take this opportunity to thank one and all for being here today, and special thank you to Dr. CA Girish Ahuja ji.
Sir, you have not used also so much because
I only used once. I
So,
took care that I'll use only once.
You are only one first proviso you have used. You have not used further proviso. Thank you
you,
very
sir.
much.
Thank-
Take care, sir. Take care.
Thank you.
Because you were very conscious not to use also. Am I right?
Sir, let me inform, Vijay Bhai and Bharat Bhai are one of the inventors of this webinar series, because
Good,
they were the
good,
ones
sir.
to take lead in the country to start with this.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, sir. All
Thank
the
you,
best.
sir.
Take
Thanks a
care,
lot,
sir.
sir.
Take care. All the best.
Sat Sat Pranam, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anji Vijay Bhai, congratulations, sir.